that in the world, eh? This song is dedicated to the rivers.
No, this lady, Miriam Masiro, is a beautiful goddess, one of the spiritual beings who can connect with the higher realms of reality.
They say the headstand is the king of the pasture because it bathes our brain with our own vital blood, our own life force. She loved to dance, she loved to twirl. Outside in the fresh air, the pretty ribbons in her hair. She'd sing once a little girl. She loved to dance, she loved to twirl. Outside in the fresh air, in her
I'm actually sitting in my brook, singing Brook Farm. It's a beautiful place. I come down here every day to meditate and do yoga and commune with nature, the elemental aspects of nature, with the wind and these magnificent trees, dancing in the breeze and the butterflies and the belted kingfisher that'll sail by every once in a while. And there's a hawk, a white hawk with beautiful black markings that she always sails over my head about every morning and then singing to me. I like to watch the plants evolve into their huge form from the early spring. This is Vajrayogini, and she's the bodhisattva of radical transformation. She drinks the blood of your own illusion, your own fears. And she has a kartka, and she cuts and severs the ties of all. She drinks the blood of your own illusion, your own fears. And she has a kartka, and she cuts and severs the ties of all that no longer serves you. So just let it go. Let go of all that. And about 3 months ago, I started really connecting to this elemental energy in a way that I really hadn't in many years here. I've lived here since 1992. So I bless the earth, and I bless the sky, and I bless ourselves, and I bless you. Sacred place. And I feel like I'm discovering something new about myself and nature all the time. And that's what I love about living, is like every day is a new day. Every day you can feel the renewal of the breath of life and the inspiration of just being alive, just breathing. And this mudra means I create the temple within. I am the temple within. I am the spirit within. I am spirit. So I hold to the ancient ones who have that way I can feel the connection to this forest, and then I become like them. And I learn how to stay in balance, even if I only have one leg on the ground, because it's all about learning how to balance our life, learning how to be in stillness. And then there's other aspects where you reach. I ask for my dreams, because I know the dreams come for the West. So I seek my dreams to reveal the wisdom to me. So when I hold my hand out, I receive the wisdom of the forest, the wisdom of nature. And I just feel so expansive. And I also send out my direction, like, what do I want in my life? Where am I going? So I seek it, I send it out. Like, this is me. I'm sending out my energy to the world in balance, in love, in light. All those wisdom teachings from South America that I've learned from for the children, and for the innocence of life. I always greet the South. And I honor the West for the dreams, introspection, and what comes to us in the night. May it come with beauty and wisdom, and may we remember our dreams. May we bring them into our conscious awareness so we can take action. Thank you for the beautiful forest. Look at how pretty it is. And thank you for this beautiful river that has been flowing ever since I moved here. Every day. Bringing more abundance. And this is the north, so I thank the wisdom of the north, for the cold, for all the teachings from the elders from the north. And for myself, I always say thank you. Thank you. Thank you for life. And the spirit above. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And to the Mother Earth below. Thank you for my life. That's one of my favorites. I didn't know I didn't even know. When I was a little girl, I used to do yoga. And I didn't even know it was yoga until I was 18. And I saw it in a book or something. Well, one of my favorite positions, I would always do this when I would be watching TV. And my mother was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. This feels good. Well, this is one of the positions they call the cloud. And the thing with doing yoga is it makes you flexible.
To the love that shines within you, open every night to the stars that shine above. Open every day to love, to love, to
So after my yoga, I'm working on this book called The Celestial Teachings of Ashento. And I have about 200 pages written so far, and it's a compilation of inspired spiritual teachings from my spirit companion named Ashento. It's called The Celestial Teachings of Ashento. I've been working on it since about 2007. And they're channeled dreams, visions, inspirational words I hear. A lot of times in my dream, I'll actually bring the information when I wake up. And I have a little Sony handheld recorder. Sometimes I'll sing into it in the middle of the night, and often I don't even remember what I'm saying. Or years later, I'll find something I wrote and didn't even remember writing it. And eventually I decided I should really compile this into a booklet. I felt very inspired to bring these teachings of the spiritual being called Shinto, who appeared to me in 2003 during a vision quest when I was all alone in the forest by myself.
And what realm is a Shinto from?
I didn't know who he was at first. He appeared to me in a dream as a very handsome, tall man with long hair, and had a spectacular presence, magnificent power, and regalness. And the appearance of him was as if I had never seen anyone like him on earth. He stepped forward just as I was coming to a doorway, and we both looked at each other, and I could see the millennium of thousands of years in his eyes, that I had been with him in other lifetimes. And I was stunned by his power, his creative energy, and his look. He had this very interesting tattoo on his body that was something I'd never seen before, and in the form of a geometric pattern. And I just kept staring at it like, what is this that you're wearing? What does this represent? And he said, oh, it's a strong prayer. So he said, I'm your twin flame, and I'm not of this earth. I'm your guide, and we've known each other for lifetimes, and I'm waiting for you. And I said, wow, well, I already have a husband. And he said, yes, I know. That's okay, I don't live here. I dwell in the realm of the heavens, and I will never interfere with where you are, who you are with in this lifetime. I'm just waiting for you. And then he disappeared, and later on, he came to me again the next morning when I was still in the forest, and sang this beautiful love song to me. And I named it "Let Me Love You," and I memorized the song and was able to bring it out of the forest. And I actually sang it many times at ceremonies, including 3 weddings, and eventually released it on my first CD, which was released in 2009, called The Awakening of the Tribes of Light.
I am queen in Anna, queen of heaven. I am queen in Anna, queen of heaven. Dream with me, dance along your journey home to the sky. It's all the same paradise from heaven to Gaea star. It's all the same paradise from heaven to Gaea star.
As all things happen in our lives, sometimes we forget inspiration, right? We forget that we've been touched by spirit, and we allow a dream or an inspiration to sort of go back inside of our mind until we really need it. And in 1999, I had written this play, I was inspired by the beauty of this farm, and I decided to write a play in helping to preserve the Mother Earth, and I called it The Rainbow Crystals of the Earth, and it ended up having 26 pages and many characters, gods and goddesses and fairies and elves and dragonflies and bears and all sorts of amazing, incredible adventures with these crystal seekers who went all to the four corners of the earth looking for the wisdom that had been buried by the ancient ones to preserve in times of need. They would put their secret wisdom in certain places and to protect it in case somebody was coming to destroy or take it away. And the play was performed once, and it was actually performed on this land. And many good things happened from that experience of performing it. But I put the play away and did not bring it back out into my life for any reason. I just kept thinking someday I might do something with this, but I would find it when I was cleaning, and I'd say, oh gee, what am I going to do? And I'd hear this voice within and said, hold on to it, you might make a movie or a musical out of it someday.
On the phone, I'm shining so bright. I knew in my mind.
I had a friend, he's like, I can help you with this.
Yeah, keep talking.
Make it from a deck into a little room. And I was like, well, okay, that sounds like a good idea. I really didn't know what we were going to do, and then Gopi ended up finishing the job with me last year, and it's just so open and expansive. So this is where I did all my writings, typing in the teachings of Ashento into this book. I had not even really become a full musician yet. I wanted to, but it wasn't part of my waking creativity at that moment. Bring the play back out. So I gave it to my office manager, because Louise at the time, she ran my herbal company, which is called Wise Ways Herbals. And she would always do things on the side for me that didn't relate to the business, just in case, she could help me, but we never had time. We were very busy. And by then, the computer that I'd written the original Rainbow Crystals of the Earth musical play had become obsolete. So I didn't know what to do with this floppy disk. Remember that when we had those computers and after that you couldn't use them anymore? And anyway, so I met this woman through my partner Darren at the time, and she said, oh, I had the software program, I can scan it into the computer and you don't have to type it in. So I gave it to her, and she sent it back a few days later saying, oh my goodness, this is the best thing I've read in years, and I'm so excited, and it can be a movie, and I know some people, and a man named Tika read it in California, and he decided to fly here to meet me, to talk to me about being the art director for it, and I was like, uh-oh, here we go, this sounds fun. And so I started this process of rewriting it, and right around the end of 2007, the huge comet, the green comet, was flying very close to the Earth, And I think Mars was the closest it had been in, I don't know, all these hundreds of thousands of years or whatever. And I remembered how significant that particular day was. And I had a headache, so I had gone upstairs to rest on my bed. So I hear this voice, sit up, look out the window. And I looked out the window, and there's this giant moon, pumpkin orange thing rising up over the tree. And I'm looking at it, and I hear this voice that said, begin before the beginning and change the name to the Gaea star crystal. That helps us always remember. Blue.
Yes.
Blue Star Sisters.
That's how we started. We're still the Blue Star Sisters, but right now we're the Gaea.
We're doing the Gaea Star show.
And we're the Gaea
I
Star
mean,
Goddesses.
the Gaea Goddess show.
D minor. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3.
And I thought, begin before the beginning. What does that mean? And then I heard this other voice that said, before you came to this earth, before you came on this divine mission, where were you? Who were you? Who were the ones who came here to help humanity? Why not go up into that realm first and begin there? Begin with the journey of this mission.
Deep water. Yeah.
Dress up the video area, and so it's a little bit congested here because we had to move everything away from the windows. But like these are some of the stuff that I take to the shows, and but now look at that! Doesn't that feel good? It just looks, yeah. Oh, this is my latest, my new mannequin, and I have this really cool lights, so you can actually do a video right here. Just in this quadrant, and it feels like we're in a different world. Opened up to this, and the deck. This is now my studio. Oh yeah, that's so exciting. So I came down the stairs, and I sat at the computer with Dameron, and we ended up typing in and getting all excited about reworking what we called Act 1, where the archangels, Lucifer, and all the celestial beings gather at this beautiful place called the Celestial Star Temple, and they have a huge meeting. And in the meeting is this discussion about what's going to happen here, what's going on Gaea Star, how can we help her, and Gaea Star at the time, I realized, was the name of the earth. That is what the earth is called. And many people call her Gaia, Gaea, but it is the ancient name of her. So for the next 2 or 3 days, I was consumed with writing this.
likes us to go put our hands and our feet in the river too, and just watch what happens when you immerse yourself in the rivers, and they're so pure in New England. We're really blessed to have all this water around us, the lakes and the ocean, so close. But really, those rivers, they're always running. And I just think that's a miracle.
And along the way, I thought to myself, I bet it would be really cool if I put a love story in this story as well. So then I thought about meeting my twin flame back in 2003 in the Vision Quest. And actually, I'd forgotten to say when I asked him what his name was, he said his name was Stewart. So all along, all these years, I thought it was Stewart. And I had met this woman, Gaea, and she says, oh, that's not his name. He's got a better name than that. He's a steward. He's a steward of the earth. I thought, oh, yeah.
I love to float in the water.
So we're
In the summertime.
gypsies. We're running to the gypsies.
Tonight we're gypsies dancing in the full light.
So I sat there and I wrote on my piece of paper, what is your real name in in heaven? And he said immediately, Ashento, Ashento. I thought, oh, wow, okay. That sounds beautiful, I love that.
Here we go. This song is dedicated to the gypsies. I heard this song in the middle of the night. Saying once on the top girl, she loved to dance, she loved to twirl. Outside in the fresh air, with the pretty ribbons in her hair. Gypsy once on the top girl, she loved to dance, she loved to twirl.
So we ended up typing it in on Google, of course. When you want to search for something, what do? And there were only 2 hits. One of them was from the Erasmus Foundation. So Erasmus was a Dutch philosopher in the 12th century. And he referred to, it was a quote saying, you people of the earth, I have sent you many Apadura messengers, and you have reviled and destroyed them. I'm not sending you anymore until you understand, until you learn to love. And so that was that quote. And then this other one was from the Glade Foundation in England. And so we asked, what does the Shinto mean? And the person who communicated back with us, his name was Ray Taylor. And he said, well, thank you for asking. And a Shinto is a spiritual being who has evolved into the 7th realm. He or she no longer needs to be incarnated in human form, because their mission is to do other things in the other realms of a higher purpose. They've sort of gotten their wings, so to speak. They've evolved. And how did you get this? Anyway, because we had not even put ourselves on the search engines yet. So we ended up having this wonderful dialogue back and forth with what exactly he thought the Shinto and the reasons why people came here, and it was very, very beautiful and healing and emotionally awakening me, because I realized that I truly was in communion with a spiritual being of this caliber. And when I started looking back into my life, I realized he had been with me all along. That many times I would write in my journals as if somebody was writing through me, and I always liked to just let go, and I would just release my control of the pen, and I would just say, oh, I'm going to see what happens, and what I would communicate with. And eventually I realized I was also doing that with my music. Well, this is the studio where we do our radio show here, and we've done 71 amazing shows. Recorded live here, and so I'm spending a lot of time in here. Also on Fridays I do recording of the music for making CDs. Just finished my third CD called Smooth Sailing Love Songs with Bob Sherwood playing on the piano. And
Let's check that out. Was somebody stumbling there?
and then the next part is
Yeah, you're not. Yes, we just got to remember that after your journey home to the stars, the 2 times through the A minor G.
I play a lot of different instruments in Damron Midget, and just released that in March. And now working on a children's album. And so I wanted to just make this place look as beautiful as I could while I'm standing here a lot. And just, I can stand.
A little more.
Mint. I always love eating peppermint. My cats always come and do yoga with me. She's a shy. When I realized that Shinto had been sort of had been my guide for my whole life, and that I was always I'd always heard, but just didn't know it was him. So I was really happy after all these years to finally put all the pieces together and realize this divine, radiant, spiritual being that I've known in other lifetimes is right there inside my mind, inside my heart, inside my being, and that I can access and hear and listen anytime I want to. It's not like I have to go and have a lesson on how to hear God or how to hear. It's all in. It's all in here. It's all inside of me. Books I'm working on, and then whenever I have to make a set list, I print it out in here. One of the things that is inherent in listening to what he's saying is very simply to be, to breathe in life, and to be conscious and aware at all times that we are divine beings, that we came here on a particular mission, a journey, a path, a goal. We set goals before we actually came here. It's not like we just popped into our parents and came out. It's grander than that. It's a beautiful dream that we live here. But this is the reality, is that when we stand on the earth with our feet firmly planted and maintain conscious awareness of the beauty of life, on the sun on our skin, and the food that we eat, and the water that we breathe, the air that we breathe, the water that we drink, all of it comes from the source of love.
With your 2 faces, 5 kinds of wisdom, and 3 aspects of body. All hail. All hail. All hail. All hail.
Because love and sunlight puts the human body into an emotional state of love and thus a semi-dense body which is closer to death of the physical body, albeit humanity being alive, but more so on an ethereal plane of time-space instead of space-time.
Greet the sun. I thank the sun for what I receive in the day. Even if the sun's not out, you can just face the east. Thank you for this beautiful day, this light, this illumination. And then I greet the south. May I remember my beautiful innocence. And may I give whatever I receive with love. Thank you. From the source of light. And that light is inherent every day as a reminder. Here we are, we wake up, radiant, divine beings of light. Here we are again, to breathe, to love, to have kitties, to have babies, to have lovers, to grow and develop and learn, but all along the way. It's all along the way home. The way home to the source of love, and to the source of light, and to the source of healing, and it's all in here.
The sun geometrics has no limits of the healing processes, or it will allow desired healing with the limits put on them by groups or individuals. So in other words, Saturn impose with its rules and laws what sort of healing we are allowed to practice. These are healings in which one has to go to a doctor, and a doctor decides one's fate. A doctor decides one's fate on whether a sickness can be healed or is unable to be healed. With the sun's matrix, we decide our healing processes, whether we want to take on the doctor's healing vibration with their medicines and pills and technological machines that slice and dice you up and beam all kind of radio frequency inside of your cancer cells and all that kind of stuff. Or you want to practice things such as Older Clark's parasitic cleansing treatment or herbal remedies, or whether you want to practice hands-on healing with light vibration that some people calling themselves light workers practice, or whether you want to check a witch doctor healer, or whether you want to use your own mind to overpower illnesses. In this sense, mind over matter, and a whole host of other methods of healing. The list goes on and on and on and on. I just refer to those because those are what most people are people today are familiar with or know about. Some they believe in, some they don't. In fact, the vast majority do not believe in anything other than what doctors practice, which are all Saturnalian practitioners.
That we can find that, and that all this rushy around and getting caught up in the material world and the density and all the illusions and the cell phony stuff, and everything has to be just the way it has to be, and we gotta do. It takes it away. It becomes distant from us, and we become disconnected. And the main example that Shinto has presented is always look at the tree. The tree maintains being grounded and connected to the source of its own vital life force by staying in one place. and you have a flexible mind. When you can be flexible with your body, then you can be flexible in your life. And I really truly feel like that has helped me so much, is taking the time out to come down into my sacred place and listen to the sound of nature while I'm in my devotion to my body. And I also have changed my diet over the years. I only eat fruit in the morning. The vitality of the life force of the fruit awakens me and it gives me nourishment, and I don't need anything else till 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And when people see me, they always ask me, "You look so thin, are you all right?" And I think, why does thin mean there's something wrong with us? I feel so good. One place. And you know what it's like when you go and hug a tree, a big old tree? Their power and the presence and the calmness and the magnificence is healing. And when we stand and have our feet in the water and we just kind of play like little kids, we let go. We forget. We forget about all that.
And thus healing biological life, improving our mental health, regularizing the flow of currents in the earth's mantle, the oceans, the atmosphere, and the ionosphere, and improving the hardness and purity of crystalline structures.
I grew up in an Italian family where we ate a lot of bread and cheese and pasta and overcooked food. And just way too much carbo. And I feel like that was, I don't know, the wrong diet for me. I wasn't healthy. And I felt like I was overweight off and on in my life. And it takes a lot of work to say no to certain foods. I still have a sweet tooth. But the fruit sort of replaces the sweetness. And now when I feel the urge to eat something sweet, I try to just go to fruit. And even at night, if I get hungry, I'll just go have a strawberry or a piece of an apple. I always think, oh, they're not that fattening. I don't try to profess anything, but I have been a vegetarian for over 30 years as well. And I became a vegan about 5 years ago. As a singer, I didn't want to eat dairy products anymore because it made my throat very congested, and I didn't like to clear my throat when I'm singing. So I wanted to just do the best I can to get the optimal experience out of my body and my mind and my spirit. Recently, my mother passed away, and I really celebrated her passing because I knew she was happy releasing her body. She was 93, and she was ready to go because she had had difficulties with her dementia. And after the memorial service, I had a dream where I went to heaven, and I saw my mother as this radiant being of golden light with this beautiful, beautiful smile on her face. And she was just celebrating and radiant and so joyful, and she could smell all the flowers in heaven and be with all her friends. And I thought, wow, it's beautiful up there and it's beautiful right here. It's all the same. You know, and what happened as I started doing these writings, I also would realize many times my music is that inspired place as well. And everything I sing about, everything I want to sing about is really, what is it like to have one more day, to be here? last songs I got when I was here by the river, it was really a cold day, but I came down anyway. And I thought, well, okay, I'm listening. You get to this point like, all right, come on, spirit, let's give me something. You get kind of like that. And I thought, well, all right, I guess I didn't hear the melody today. And as I walked away over the bridge, I heard this voice that said, come on back, and come over to the water. So I went over to the water, and they said, now put your hands in the water. I'm like, oh, okay. Now put the water on your head. I'm like, oh, okay. And they're like, yeah. And the river knows who you are. Shami-ya-ya. And I thought, oh, that's it? So the song goes, Shami-ya-ya, Shami-ya-ya, Shami, Shami-ya-ya, 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 Shami, Shami-ya-ya. And as I heard the melody, the wind came up. Every time I sing, the wind comes. She loves to play with me. So I start singing it louder. Shami-ya-ya, Shami-ya-ya, Shami, Shami-ya-ya. And the river knows who you are. You are a shining star. Oh, I like that, I thought. Oh, that's really cool.
You're a shining star. Who you are, we do know. You are a shining star. Show us the way to open our eyes. Show us the way to open, to receive your love.
And then I heard another verse. Show us the way to open, to release your love. Showing you the way to open, to release your life. And the river knows who you are. You are a shining star. Show me the way to open my heart. Show us the way to heal our life. And the rivers know who we are. And the rivers know who we are. And the Shinto gave me strict instructions to clear the clutter in my life. Simply be, but every day make a commitment to have a discipline, a focus, a practice where you, above all, meditate and pray, and especially do yoga. Now, I had already received the information about yoga many years ago, and I actually became a teacher through Sierra Bender, where I did an exchange. I did 6 sweat lodges as a medicine woman for her in exchange for becoming certified as a yoga teacher through Sierra Bender's yoga method. And I haven't taken it to the teaching form, but I do it for myself. And I think yoga is really one of the amazing secrets of the world, of immortality, because you feel so good. This is where I get my inspiration. When people ask, how do you write and create and do and be, and I'm finishing this booklet. This will be my year I publish the booklet. It's 200 pages, and it's a composition of songs and spiritual messages and journal writings from many years of my working with the Shinto, and what happens is I gave it to an editor, and she actually transcribed my talking into the recorder as well. She's excellent like that. I truly will hear 3 or 4 songs in one day sometimes, and I like to just channel them with inspirational, and it's funny because I have, my herbal company is still going on after 26.5 years. And for a long time, it was hard for me to take time for myself to come down here, and I always did something else first. But this last 2-3 years, I've made this my priority, and I'm much happier, much more creative, and much more inspired. And then I go back up. I go back into the world. Sometimes I even take a dip in the water.
There are many different realities. At all times, we're just accessing the light spectrum of reality, from sound to light colors as the frequency double to solidity. Now, Miriam is one of the enlightened beings who does connect with other part of the spectrum, not visible light spectrum, but other spectrum, and connect and ritualistically tune into these, playing music that vibrates to these sound as she hears the stars vibrating in her ears, in her pineal gland.
An altar, and you could stand and pray and put your cocoa leaves down.
Bringing these realities in, grounding these beautiful realities so many others can enjoy. Now we all can do this, every single being on the face of the planet. And I hope many will start doing this and make this place a beautiful and loving earth as it deserves to be.